What is up, guys? It is a Sportster Bradley Walker, and welcome to the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio and NGSC Sports. Guys, remember the website. It's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. We are also being aired live on Coast to Coast Entertainment. Guys, I want to thank you for letting us have the Thanksgiving break off. We were supposed to have a show here on Sunday. Yours truly will go into more detail on why I did not do a show, because I was completely exhausted from my trip to Gainesville for the first time in the swamp for the University of Florida, the Florida Gator Florida State game this past Saturday. Guys, we are sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com. It's the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And guys, remember, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. And remember, guys, she is just currently serving just the St. Petersburg area. Maybe in the future, she will be able to once again service Clearwater and Tampa. But at the time, it will just be just the St. Pete area. Let me go ahead, guys, and bring on my illustrious two co-hosts. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Bradley, you're not the only area that has a swamp, because here in Jersey, we also have a swamp. We call it the Meadowlands.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to the Meadowlands.
Well,
I guess that's the next swamp that I'll have to go to then, if that's the case.
Yes.
I guess that's the next.
That's okay. You just have to avoid stepping on Jimmy Hoffa. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Too late. I've already done that. Too late. I did that back in 1983.
Isn't that where he's buried, supposedly? He's supposed to be buried in the Meadowlands somewhere?
Well, actually, it was supposed to be my garage, but they moved it to the Meadowlands. So, actually, I think I stepped on it back in 1984. Accidentally, of course, but I stepped in it.
Yeah. Accidentally on purpose.
Yes.
So you guys both. How was you guys' Thanksgivings? I have to ask before we get started here.
No, yeah.
Do you even have to? Do you even have to ask?
Uh-oh.
I'm guessing by that answer, Lewis, it must not have gone that well if he's asking.
No, actually, it was better than we thought, because it was only supposed to be like the three of us, but my sister had it, and we had about 9 or 10 people, so actually it's better. Hey,
nice.
The holidays, the more the merrier, right? Right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Hey, I was home by myself all weekend. It was nice.
Oh.
Mine was good. This is the first year without my mom being here.
Right.
But my dad came over, so it was nice.
Good.
Spend the time with my sister, seeing my nephews and my niece, and my aunt was
Oh,
there.
you're an uncle.
So, yes, I have. Yeah, I have 2 nephews and a niece. So, yeah,
Uncle Brad.
They call me Uncle B, actually. So
Uncle B.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, Gabby used to call me Uncle Ooh. He couldn't say the L. No, when he was a baby, he couldn't say the L.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, guys, and you're not going to believe what I have here.
I'll believe it.
Bring up the first panel, because we have startling news that this league is coming back. They said it would come back, but it's coming back. This league right here.
Yep.
The USFL is coming back.
Yep.
It's coming back.
Look at that.
2023, right? I think is when they said
2022, actually.
So next year.
They announced the teams.
Are they going to partner with the XFL and the CFL too?
Oh God, I hope not.
I never thought that was going to happen.
I did.
I just couldn't.
The CFL season, isn't the CFL over for the year?
Just last week.
Last week.
I thought okay, so they're getting into their playoffs.
Break up.
Yeah, a couple of weeks there.
Yeah, so the league is coming back.
April of next year.
Next year, 2022.
Okay. They're not going to be unlike their first iteration, which is what they had going for them.
Yes.
They were able to pay top NFL level talent to come and play with them.
Right.
They won't be able to do it this time, and they're going to get crushed.
Duh.
It looks like they're going to be. It's going to be the Michigan Panthers, New Jersey General, Philadelphia Stars, Pittsburgh Maulers, Birmingham Stallions, Houston Gamblers, New Orleans Breakers, and the Tampa Bay Bandits.
Now, are they all going to play? Because I heard a rumor that all teams were going to play in one location instead.
That's what I had heard. Yeah,
I don't like that.
It is.
I don't like.
It says, you guys are right. It says right here that they will all play in one location in the inaugural season.
Dumb.
That's what I think. I understand for this season. To mitigate costs, keep costs down, just having everybody play in one city. I can kind of understand that, but you also don't get to build a fan base.
That's right.
Correct.
It's really hard. I mean, but okay. Let's say, next spring. You said it February of next year.
February, yes. April.
Okay. April. Sorry, April. April of next year. Could you imagine that place would if they were playing at Ford Field in Detroit, if the Michigan Panthers were playing it, that place would be packed out. It would be rocking. They would have that place jumping.
Right.
So I mean, I understand to kind of keep league costs down. I can understand having one city for this first year, but I mean, how do you generate interest in a league that doesn't have your cities,
Yeah.
And they don't have anybody in New York or LA either, and that's gonna be tough.
No.
Well, I know at one time the Bandits used to play at Raymond James Stadium, or what was called the old Tampa Stadium.
Right.
Right. Raymond James Stadium in its spot, but so I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you have the USFL, if you have the Bandits, and say the XFL does come back, and they bring the Vipers back, you're going to have 4 teams playing at Raymond James Stadium: the Bucks, Bulls, USF when the college football season's around.
Yeah,
right. And then of course, the Bucks. That's the NFL. That's their stadium. Then the Bandits and the Vipers will be the the USFL and XFL teams. So again, if you can, I think the Glazers would welcome that because they can make money off of all that.
Hell yeah. How are you
gonna make money with all of them just playing in one city? I mean, that doesn't say.
Well, much. That's not. Yeah, it won't.
No, he was talking about in the future.
In the future,
because I don't know how you're going to survive with all teams playing in one city. Plus, that's going to be pretty crowded, most of all. And, you're not going to be able to generate a fan base throughout the country. You're just playing in one location. So I don't think that's going to work. I don't think we're going to get this, a full season. It's going to be even probably shorter than the World League in 2020 and probably even the that league in 2018. Need I say more?
Yeah. No,
that league.
Well, and the XFL got canceled because of the pandemic, but Adam made a good point as we talked about till we're blue in the face on this show. When you can't pay your players what they're making in the NFL, why would you come and play football there?
Hell no.
So that's what I'm saying. Why would you?
I mean, and back in the back in the 80s, without the guaranteed money, and with having only 24 teams, I think it was 22 teams, 22.
I think it was 22.
22, 24, somewhere in that. There was a lot more opportunities there was a lot more room for another league to move in and set up shop.
Yes.
And you can pay competitive wages with the NFL. And you could even outpay the NFL. The money that Steve Young was offered. Herschel Walker. Jim Kelly. Yep. You could actually compete with the NFL. But I don't think that, Aiden Hutchinson isn't going to go play in the USFL.
No.
No, it's gonna be but a lot like what the XFL is. You're gonna have people that didn't make it in the NFL that are trying to get back there, and they're gonna put their bodies and their health at risk to try to get back to the big leagues, as they call it.
Right.
And that's why would you unless you're gonna get back there, which you're not guaranteed. You're going to get back there. Why would you put your health at risk? I mean, that's me,
That's kind of where I don't know if it was this show or another show I was on when the XFL came back. It may have been Von Allen's show.
Mm-hmm.
When the XFL, they brought the XFL back and I was on somebody else, we were talking about it, and we was talking about that they were only going to make, and I don't know what the budget is for a given team.
$150.
But wow, it's more than I was thinking. But even let's say it's $100 million, you're still $80 million short of your average NFL roster.
Yeah,
the high end of an NFL roster, and so I just don't see a USFL team being able. You're not going to be able to compete for the top talent. You get one guy that's a top talent, and you can pay him $15 million a year, and then everybody else is cast-offs, old guys that didn't make it, guys that were never gonna make it, and it's not gonna be a good product out on the field.
No,
we bitch and moan about the product the NFL puts out, and you're putting out a product that's 2 steps below the NFL. You've got guys that barely made it in guys that were good in college, but they weren't NFL talent. Against guys who were good in college but weren't NFL talent.
Right.
And you've got mediocre football, and you've got a lot of 16, 10, 13, 18, 22, 15 punt fest where it's over.
Bad quality.
And then...
Or no quality.
So I just don't understand the point of it.
Yeah. No, I again, you guys knew about this, and the reason, guys, we didn't have a show is I came back home on Saturday night. I didn't get home till 9. We left the stadium at 4 o'clock. It took almost 4 hours to drive home from Gainesville. And I was so sore, and my allergies were bothering me, and I would have been a mess. It would not have been fun to be on here, so that's why I didn't do it on Sunday.
You should see me in September.
Take a rest day. But
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I saw this article. I think last week. I think I had plans to have a show, and I'm like, I gotta, of course, obviously it's a sports topic, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bring this
Definitely
up.
Gonna bring it up.
Interesting that this league starts next year, and then the XFL starts in 2023. So it's interesting how within a matter of 2 years, you're gonna have 2 sub NFL leagues,
right?
Vie for attention from the NFL. And
it's and then what happens when you do court? These guys are going out there to court the NFL, right? And trying to, it's like The Bachelor. You're not playing for, if you don't get the date, you go home unhappy. And so you're out there courting the NFL. If the NFL is The Bachelor, that's who you want to be with, and you spend 10 weeks in this house with all these other people who are vying for the same attention.
Yes.
And how many? Maybe 3 of you get picked at the end of the day. And $45,000, and you put yourself through an NFL. You put yourself through half an NFL season.
Okay, Bachelor number 1. What are you looking for in the NFL with the XFL this year? Well, I'm hoping for a strong defense. See, you got me doing it now.
It's more like the NFL. And
right.
Bachelorette number 1. When it comes to running the 46, we're really looking for an outside linebacker. When it comes to running the 46, one is quarters coverage.
What about inside linebacker? Maybe not.
And there might be across the NFL 15, 20 positions available on a given year.
Right.
And you think you have maybe. Well, if you figure there's 32 teams, right?
Yes.
So there might be. Let me say. Let's say 100.
Hey, do the math.
Right? Let's say 100 positions, right?
Yes.
Available at the end before going into the draft.
Right.
And you figure after the draft, after preseason, there might be 15 roster slots available in a given year.
Right.
And you have there are 800 guys vying for 15 roster spots.
Yeah.
Across the league after everything's all said and done. And you got, and then you get, let's say you do get a shot and you blow out your knee and you're done. What about the guy who goes to the USFL or the XFL or the CFL or any of the other non NFL non NFL leagues and blows out his knee 2 weeks into the year and is done.
Bye-bye.
You're better off just staying in shape and staying by the phone.
Yeah.
And getting good tape together, getting out there with your buddies and running routes or running coverages or whatever, whatever position you play.
Yes.
And staying in shape and doing whatever it is that you would be normally doing, whether it be sacking groceries or being a lawyer or a doctor or whatever.
Indian chief?
Well, maybe not that one.
Okay. Agent or an accountant.
Right. And waiting for the NFL to call, as opposed to playing when you can make $45,000 a year doing whatever you went to school for. Right. Easy. If you went to a major college, a major 4-year university, and got a degree in something, you should be able to make at least $45,000 a year.
Minimum, yes.
And not have to put your body through something. And not have to put your body through the rigors of a football season. While you stay in shape and stay ready for the NFL to call.
Yes.
Oh, I agree with that. So, again, we'll have to wait till the season starts next
year. We'll have to wait and see, but
discuss what's going to happen.
if don't get me wrong, I'm all for opportunities. Let them, if they think they can make it work, go for it. But I just don't see it as a viable. I just wouldn't put my body through it.
No.
Not if I thought I had a legitimate shot at the NFL, being a practice squad guy, and just doing whatever I was doing.
Right.
And if I had a good job not playing in the NFL, I wouldn't worry about it. About it. If I made $45,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 a year, I won't worry about it.
I get it.
Well,
I saw this on ESPN. I was watching this afternoon. What was that all about? Why did they cancel all their tournaments in China?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna read this off of Reddit because I have yes, I have a Reddit account. No, I don't know. I don't post anything on there. I have on there a lot.
Right.
It says on November 2nd, Ping Xing posted an allegation of sexual assault against a top Chinese government official. So after that, they have decided the WTA is going to pull away from playing any tournaments in China. Obviously,
for
the time being, obviously, we are also in the midst of political backlash from them too. So
it's China. When isn't there political backlash?
Correct.
Yeah.
There's been political backlash in China for 2,000 years.
Yeah, there was. I guess there was a sexual assault against one of the top players, and they have decided to cancel the tournament. And I want to say it was the winner was going to get $1 million. I could have read that wrong somewhere. I thought I read that today.
Is that in U.S. money or theirs?
I think that's in U.S. money. I don't know what it would be. Because they use the yen, right, in China? Is
that's
that
correct.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
No, I had seen that. I had seen a blurb on Outside the Lines this afternoon, but I didn't know what was going on, and I really don't care about women's tennis. No offense to you women tennis fans out there. It's just
the majors. The majors.
I don't even really care for men's tennis. So
okay.
So
yeah, that was that topic came up, so I wanted to bring that up.
I was curious. I was curious what was going on there.
Yeah, I did too. I couldn't get it. What does it mean?
I just didn't know what it was going on. You know what I feel bad for is I feel bad for all the other players who are now not going to be able to play in the tournament and have to figure out what they're going to do.
Correct.
That's shame.
Give me 1 second. I got to move the fan so it blows on me so I can cool back down.
Okay.
The Major League Soccer is in the midst of its. Is it playoffs, Lewis, or
playoffs? It's playoffs. Playoffs? Give me playoffs.
Playoffs. Let me see something because I had the schedule earlier.
And NYFC is still in it.
Let me see. Well, I will say this about soccer, not anything to do with the MLS. The UFL or the USFL, which is the league that the Tampa Bay Rowdies play in, they lost the championship 3-1 on Monday night.
The USL?
Sunday, yes, they lost the
USL.
They lost the championship game at home, 3-1 on Sunday night. Yeah, they lost on Sunday night.
Bummer. I was really hoping they'd pull one out.
At home. Yeah, they lost at home. All right.
Do they only play one game?
Just one game. Yeah, just
one and done.
And what happened is 2 years ago or last year, they were in the final and had to cancel because of COVID. They got COVID issues on the team.
Right.
They had to cancel it.
Right.
So I'm looking at the schedule now. It looks like New England and NYC tied at 2-2 on Tuesday. The next game is coming up Saturday. You have Portland and Salt Lake. And then on Sunday, it's Philadelphia and then New York City again. I think beyond that, and then it's so is the championship game, Lewis, on December 11th? Is that the championship game?
That's correct. 2 weeks before Christmas.
Okay.
So the house all soccer players are playing, and so was a match.
So New England's out. The Revolution's out of it completely, right?
I believe so, yes. But New York is still in, much to my dismay. I was hoping for the Red Bulls.
Yeah, it looks like the final four are Portland, Salt Lake, Philadelphia, and New York City. Those are the final four. So the winners obviously will play on December 11th, and the two that lose will be going home. So that's the MLS, the final four.
You want to know the strange thing? They had an MLS game on Thanksgiving on Fox after the Lions.
Yeah.
They did.
Now,
yeah.
Call me crazy, but why would you want to do that? You know, no one's going to watch an MLS game when it's football on Thanksgiving. I can just see it now. Wait, who's got a magnifying glass? Here's the NFL ratings. We had 28 million people watching the Dallas game. Unfortunately, the result. And here's probably MLS. If you just take this little shred of paper right here, you can see right here. Okay. Wait, is that an O or is that an ant down on the ground here? Yeah. 0.2. Yeah. Real smart, guys. Yeah. MLS game on Thanksgiving Thursday. Yeah, right.
Was that a playoff, or was it just a regular? It was the last of a regular.
It was a playoff
game. Now here is
this way. Nobody gave a cat's ass.
So here's an article via CNBC that this Major League Soccer's mission is to make soccer a dominant sport in the United States. And
good luck.
Right.
Here's how I guess it says soccer in the U.S. has not always had the best track record. Its popularity fluctuates and usually tied to significant events such as the World Cup or the Olympics. Major League Soccer has spent more than 25 years trying to change the sentiment towards soccer in the United States while competing with the more fast-paced, high-scoring sports such as the NFL and the NBA.
They pulled almost a 2.
Over the last 10 years, the MLS has become hugely popular.
Way better than
garnered the attention of top international talent, brought in significant investments, generated a massive presence on social media. So I guess they're trying to. It looks like the league is looking to establish a new media rights package in 2022.
Yeah,
its current 8-year media deal with ESPN, Fox, and Univision has generated an estimated $90 million per year since 2015. The league hopes to capitalize on a younger fan base, social media presence, and the FIBA World Cup, which the U.S. will host in 2026. So I guess they're hoping 4 years to gain some.
Yeah.
I personally, and no offense to the MLS fans and no offense to soccer fans around the world, soccer just doesn't work in the United States. And I know they're trying to make it work. And again, the problem is when you try to shove sport down our throat, it doesn't work very often.
No. Well, that's anything the American people are one. If they're one thing, they are resentful of whatever
Correct.
corporate America tells us that we have to like.
Correct.
And we will tell you to take a flying leap at a rolling donut.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
You know, the thing about it is, they did manage to pull a 1.89 on Thursday.
Well,
I don't know what the Cowboys game did.
28 million people.
I don't think
28 million people. Wow.
20 million people. Yeah.
Watching the Cowboys and Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Which I think was I watched Urinating Trees NFL weekly thing, and he said that was that game should be in the Hall of Fame for the referees and how many flags they threw in that game.
Yes.
How many flags were thrown in that football game. But yeah, the MLS, guys, is down to its final four. We'll know within the next couple of weeks who the MLS champion
I will have that on my show Saturday.
Is going to be. So the next thing, guys, I wanted to talk about, because I posted this on Facebook, and this was enlightening news. I happened to see somebody come back. I don't think he's coming back to play luxuriously, or I think he's going to be one of those where he plays.
He's going to pick his spots.
And that would be Tiger. I saw that he was out on the driving range hitting balls via Twitter, I believe I saw, and I posted that. It was kind of cool to see him.
Yeah, I saw it on ESPN.
Yeah,
to see him back. I can't
believe he's actually up and walking.
Yeah,
that was going to happen.
I have an article where he talks about coming back and how he almost lost his leg. They almost had to amputate his leg. It was that bad. So let me go ahead and bring that article up real quick, guys. Hang on just a second. I'm going to change this to that, and let me read what it had to say. This is from Bleacher Report. So it says Tiger Woods discovers recovery from injuries suffered in a car crash and his future in the sport of golf. This is by Adam Wells. Speaking publicly for the first time since February car crash, Tiger addressed a variety of topics about his recovery and future on Tuesday. Let's see here. The 15-time major champion was open about how close he came to losing his leg or worse as a result of the crash. I'm lucky to be alive and still have the limp. I'm very grateful that someone upstairs was taking care of me. Amputation was on the table. Woods added that he hasn't decided whether he will return to the PGA at some point, but there's still a long way to go in rehab. Woods was involved in a single car accident on the 23rd of February. So that happened. I did hear something that, of course, if everyone out there is counting, Tiger is very, very close to that magical age of 50. And what that means is he would be eligible to play on the Champions Tour. And guess what they get to do on the Champions Tour? They get to ride in a golf cart. And if his leg is bothering him, it would give him a leg up, not to be hilarious and funny by saying that.
No pun intended.
It would be a chance for him to not have to walk a full 18 holes. I don't believe he's going to pick and choose. I would be very, very surprised if he doesn't play in the Masters in April because he won there 2 years ago. I wouldn't be surprised to see him there to give it one more
go.
Before he,
I think we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah.
If he has a good showing at the Masters, let's say he places in the top 20. Let's say he doesn't win it. Let's say he places in the top 20.
Respectable.
That fire is reignited. That little bit, that little flame in the back of your mind says, maybe I can still do this shit. And you decide to give it a couple more years.
He needs one more win to pass Sam Snead for all time in golf history. So he only needs one more win.
Jack?
He only needs one more win. Now, he's 3 majors away from tying Jack, 4 from passing him.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to happen. But I do believe if he wins one more time on the tour, he will have passed Sam Snead for most wins
Most
of
tour
all
wins.
time. So again, it's good to see him back, and again,
And not
yeah,
in some kind of massive leg brace.
correct.
Yeah,
He was not
it's
in a leg
crazy.
brace.
We're only 9 months from the accident, and he's already up and walking.
And I mean, if you got to see him swing, it doesn't look like he's lost an edge in his golf swing.
No.
It still looks just as pure as it did when he came on tour. So,
and I think that's been his swing hasn't been the same since 2009.
No, he
just hasn't had that. He hasn't had that killer instinct since 2009. Every now and again he's found it, but he just hasn't. It hasn't been a week to week on the week. On Thursday. He was going in, okay, gonna play good on Thursday, gonna play good on Friday, gonna play good on Saturday, and then I'm gonna go kill him on Sunday. He just hasn't had that killer, that he hasn't been up by 2 strokes going into Sunday or down by 2 strokes, being third, 2 strokes off the lead. How many times has he gone into Sunday at 1 over par, 15th on the leaderboard?
Not very often.
More often than not now.
Yeah.
Over the last decade. I'm sorry. I meant since the incident with his ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, he's been, one over after on Sunday morning, going into Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Whereas in years past, when he was the most dominant force in golf, he was 15 strokes up going into Sunday morning, and all he had to do was par out the round, and he was going to win it.
Correct.
Right.
Yep. I mean, he won the U.S. Open one year by 20 shots.
Right.
By 20 shots. So there you go.
It's insane.
That was at Pebble, by the way. Not an easy golf course by any means of the imagination.
Right.
Pebble Beach is not easy. If you guys don't know out there, Pebble Beach is on the coast of Monterey, California. It is a premier golf course, and actually it is one of the rare golf courses that the PGA Tour plays on that any amateur player can play on. A lot of the golf courses that the PGA plays
are members only.
So Pebble Beach is open to the public. It will cost you a hefty sum, but you can go there and play in California. I mean, it's one of those stay and play packages. So if you can pony up the dough, you can head there and go play. Yeah, exactly. I do have some sad news to pass around in the golf world. Lee Elder passed away. He was the first black player to play in the Masters. He died at 87. If you guys don't know, Lee was actually going to take the place of Arnold Palmer to open the Masters.
He did.
This past year. He was supposed to be there next year with Jack and Gary Player. At one time, guys, Arnie, Jack, and Gary, who are all, legends of the game, used to open up the Masters, and they still do to this day, open up the Masters. Well, of course, Arnold Palmer passed away, and Lee Elder was supposed to fill in as that third person. So now it's just Jack and Gary again. I'm sure they'll get somebody. I mean, how about Greg Norman or somebody along those?
What about Tiger?
Or Tiger is. I mean,
how about us?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Hey, I'll be more than happy to hit balls with Jack and Gary.
I know, right? I wouldn't turn it down.
Right.
I wouldn't turn down Augusta's money.
No. Then again, it was reported that Mr. Elder was not feeling well when he was at the Masters back in April. He had a mask over him, and he was in very poor health. So it wasn't very surprising. We didn't really know at the time how he was feeling, but considering this condition, as sad as it is, it was not surprising, though. I heard about Mr. Elder, during that time and everything, and he was, you can call him a legend. I think, he set standards for black golfers and made the U.S. Open in 76.
Yes.
75 actually. So, although he wasn't, a winner, he did set a milestone for golf.
Yep.
Of course, didn't get the media coverage as some guy named Tiger did, but still nonetheless.
Well, it was a different world too when Tiger broke through.
Yeah, true. We had color TV.
Yeah, right.
Well,
back in those days, Lee Elder. I mean, at that time they were they were known as second-class citizens. They weren't really,
which is wrong.
Right. Well,
Wrong.
and golf wasn't really a sport for them. They weren't. They were supposed
No,
to
they
play
didn't.
basketball or football. And Lee Elder was the one who went through all of the, went through all of that, and then of course opened the door to guys like Tiger and VJ Singh,
right.
Tony Finau, and guys like that are now on the tour. But yeah, I mean, Lee was the one who set the standard. So again, every African American and every golfer in general can relate to him and say, hey, he was the first again to play at Augusta National. Again, if you guys don't know, Augusta's in Georgia, and if you want to really go back, Georgia was a part of the South during the Civil War, so that was not a common place.
No,
for an African American. But again, he stuck it out and obviously did very, very well. And like I said, like Lewis said, he was at the Masters this past year, but he wasn't in great health. So I mean, again, rest in peace, sir, because you are a pillar of the game. I'm sure this year they'll do some kind of
they'll have a tribute
to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Definitely.
And maybe at the Masters they'll do some tribute to him.
I hope so.
In April when they go back to Augusta. So again, rest in peace, Mr. Elder, because you definitely were a state, a pillar in the golf world
and a gentleman.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so guys, I don't know if you heard or not, but the Fenway Sports Group, which is held by John Henry, who owns the Boston Red Sox, purchased the Pittsburgh Penguins for $900 million in the National Hockey League.
Is that all?
That's right.
I wish I had $9 million to blow away on a shitty franchise.
900 million.
900 million, not 900 million.
Only 900 million? I was expecting only about 4 billion. It came up short.
It says Penguins complete sale to Fenway Sports Group for around $900 million. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the Fenway Sports Group, a global sports marketing, media, entertainment, and real estate company, today announced that FSG has entered into an agreement to acquire controlling interest in the Penguins. For Burkle and Lemieux, it's a considerable financial windfall. The two helped save the organization. I actually was on a podcast and did not know that at one point they were going to fold the franchise in Pittsburgh.
Yep. Yes, they were.
On the verge of folding their franchise, and it was saved. So, and I correct me if I'm wrong. Pittsburgh was the second or third edition to the NHL. They were one of the teams that came in not too long after
67 season.
Yeah.
So they were what? They were because you had the original.
They were part of the first expansion. The first
first expansion. Okay.
Yes.
Philly.
Right. Okay.
It was Philly, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Minnesota,
L.A.
Who was the other?
Was that the Minnesota North Stars, or were they called?
Yeah, it was.
Minnesota.
Yeah, it was the North. Yeah, the North Stars. St. Louis Blues, Philadelphia Flyers,
Calgary.
Pittsburgh
Calgary. Calgary.
Calgary
was
come
it
in?
Calgary?
Calgary came in 72 as Atlanta.
Yeah, I was saying. Oh yeah.
Yep.
So they weren't Calgary at the time; it was Atlanta. Because 72 was when that's when the Golden Seals were first founded.
And the Islanders.
Was the Islanders? Yeah, the Islanders were 72, weren't they?
Yes. Yeah.
I can't remember who the other team was off the top of my head now. Philly, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Minnesota, L.A. I don't remember now.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get it back.
Well, I mean, it's okay. I mean, that's fine. I mean, obviously, that's
if there's a franchise you want to get rid of, I got one for you. Phoenix.
Pittsburgh.
I think that's going to happen. I think that's.
The thing is, they're staying, but
they're going to relocate. They're going to relocate them.
No.
Yeah, they're going to Quebec.
Pittsburgh is staying in Pittsburgh, but they're trying to give him. The Coyotes are going to stay in Phoenix, but they're trying to get a new arena in the city because the lease is up this year.
Because where are they at now? They're
in Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Glendale.
Yeah.
I thought I heard something about they were going to be moving to Tempe.
Tempe or Glendale. I don't remember which.
Yeah.
They're in Glendale now.
They're in Glendale now. Okay.
Yes.
Because I know the arena that they play in is going away.
Yes.
Whatever it's called is going away.
There was rumors that they were going to go to Texas, but that was denied.
Yes, I heard that rumor too. Yes.
Yeah.
I heard that.
So it's the California Golden Seals, the Kings, the North Stars, Flyers, Penguins, and Blues. So it was the Seals that were part of that first expansion group.
Yeah, look where they ended up.
Defunct.
Flop.
Yeah. They were.
Did they become any franchise? Did the Seals leave and go somewhere else? And
I think they went to Minnesota.
No, Minnesota got its own team. No, they folded up in '78 and went away.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, flop.
Oh. All right. Well,
City.
Yeah, we can move on, guys, because their college basketball has started up.
Thank God.
Not very much into the season, but there have been. I watched Dayton upset Kansas. I know Ohio State beat Duke the other night. There have been some shakeups this year so far early on. I know Florida lost last night.
Still early.
Oklahoma.
Long way to go.
It's a long way to go, but I mean, think about this, guys. We're just 3 short months away from March Madness. Yes, 3 months away. I know that's a long way away, but before you snap your finger, it'll be here. But I mean, it's that has got to be one of the most exciting times of the year. Is March Madness. So again, guys, it is very early in the season.
It's very early. One nice thing about college basketball is you can lose a game or two.
Yeah,
right.
You know, that's one thing I say that college football or college basketball has over college football is the fact that one game won't make or break your season.
Yes, true.
You know, whereas if you lose a game early, if you lose a game in week 1 in college basketball, it's whatever. It's okay.
There we go.
If you lose a game in week 1 in college football, you can't lose another one.
True.
Very true.
You know, if you do lose another one, it puts you right behind the 8 ball.
Yep.
You know,
that's important though.
So that's why I think college basketball. I mean, so the college basketball regular season is just about jockeying for position for the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make the tournament, but once you make the tournament, you just got to play 5 good games. You win it all.
Win your conference championship, and you're
in.
You could be one of those top 10 seeds, and you gotta basically just
even those suck conferences.
Yeah. You just gotta get hot.
Doesn't matter.
Yep. You just gotta get hot.
There's a couple of conferences.
Virginia.
Yeah, but there's a couple of conferences that are very, very weak, and even the team that has first place in the conference, they have a losing record, and they still play the conference and they still get in. I mean, because some of those conferences are just absolutely pathetic.
Like the A10?
A10, Horizon,
Sun Belt.
The Sun Belt.
Even the MAC is a weak conference in college basketball.
It is. I mean, take that.
But
right.
And this is why I don't think, not to change gears, but to kind of dovetail these two things. That's why I think your strength of schedule really does matter. It does matter who you play.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can beat up on all the shitty teams all you want, but if you don't play anybody worth a damn, what are you going to do when you play a good team?
Yeah.
Fold up and die.
Right? Unless it's Virginia. Then you got a shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, they're not going to live that one down for a long time.
Shall we address the cat in the room?
Yeah.
But this
Should we address the elephant? The elephant in the room?
The
Yep.
elephant in
Francis?
the room? Should we
But
address-
remember,
I thought that's where you were going to open up the show with. I thought that's what you were going to open the show with.
But I'll tell you
No,
what,
the reason that I waited, because we're going to get ready to talk about college football and the NFL. I figured we have 15 minutes. I figured we could discuss baseball for 15 minutes about all the big moves that were going on. You're like,
mean absolutely nothing. They mean absolutely nothing.
Lock.
Yeah.
They mean nothing at this point. From now until they get a deal done, it doesn't mean a damn bit. It doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
Because at this point, for as far as we know, they ain't getting a deal done.
No. And
right now, sitting here as we talk right now, it is December 2nd, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Correct.
They don't have a deal done. And until they get a deal done, everything you did for the last 2 weeks is null and void. Means nothing.
Yep. Nope.
All the moves you made, bringing in these guys, you can't do anything with them. Well, you still gotta. I mean, it's a catch-22. You're over a barrel. If you don't sign him now, he's gonna sign somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But if you do sign him, the Tigers signed Javi Baez. I don't remember if it was Tuesday or if it was yesterday afternoon.
Tuesday.
Was it Tuesday? I thought so.
Yes.
So they signed Javi on Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. They get him in the facility. The ink isn't even wet on his contract, and we're already losing time on him to bring him in, get him in the organization, get him to meet the coaches, get him to meet the rest of the team.
Yes.
And get him acclimated to being in Detroit, and it's all out the window because we don't know how long it's going to be. It could be tomorrow. It could be in the next 15 minutes.
It could be in the next 15
years. Is it going to be
in
in the next 15? I don't think so.
Okay, a year.
I don't think so. But
the thing is, why would you tie all that money when you knew you were going to have a lockout anyway?
Because you can't. Because it's a catch-22. It's catch-22. Because if you don't spend the money, if you don't lock up Javi, if you don't lock up any of the other free agents who are Freddie Freeman, if you leave Freeman out on the market, when you do come back, then somebody else has a chance to scoop him up. Mm-hmm. So if you don't get those guys signed, then you don't have the chance to sign them. But if you do sign them, now you can't do anything with them.
That's my point.
Because you're locked the fuck out.
Yep.
And these are billionaires bitching that millionaires make too much money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I have a would you rather for you guys. Would you rather see a salary cap or salary floor in Major League Baseball?
Cap.
You'll never get a cap. Boston, New York, LA, never let it happen. They'll never let it happen. The Steinbrenners of this world, of the baseball world, the Fenway Group, whoever's out there that owns the Dodgers, they'll never let a salary cap happen ever. They'll pay that $180 million luxury tax all day long. I think the best option is a salary floor.
Well, that salary floor would make the Rays,
would force the owners
Royals,
to actually have to pay players.
Correct.
Okay.
Because the Rays,
which I think it would do the same thing as a salary cap, where you know that you got to pay. Okay, let's say you got two players. Let's say Javi Baez is out there, right? And the Tigers are looking at Javi Baez. I'm sorry, I don't mean to pick on Javi, but he was the most recent signing by my team.
Yes.
But so let's just use him as an example. Let's say the Lions are looking at him or two guys they got in the minors. Let's say Javi's gonna be. Let's say they paid him 6 years, $114 million. 6 divided by 14 is 8. So,
yes,
or 6 is 2 actually. Sorry, no, it's 1. So it's like $15 million a year, $18 million a year, whatever. Sorry, I did the math wrong. Let's say they can pay, or they can pay two guys $9 million, and Javi still goes to, instead of coming to Detroit, he goes to New York, he goes to LA, he goes to Chicago. I think you're better off with how the money is managed in the MLB, and with the luxury tax. And I don't like salary caps. I don't think it's done anything to make the NFL any better. I don't think it makes the NHL better. I don't think it makes the NBA better. I look at the best teams in the NFL,
Okay.
and who are they? They're the same fucking 6 teams anyway. Sorry. My mouth is on fire tonight. I apologize.
Well, that's all right. No, that's okay. We can drop an F-bomb here or there. It's not gonna
Right.
affect anything.
I just get fired up over this because I don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I understand where you're coming from. And I'm not mad about it. But I just don't see the point in having the salary cap in baseball. We've gone so long without one. Baseball's been around for 150 years. I don't think the salary cap changes anything because the best players in the world are still going to want to go to New York and Boston and Chicago and LA. You know, how many, even if you do put a salary cap in, the players are still going to end up in New York and Boston. They're still going to end up in LA.
But it won't win a championship, though, necessarily.
And then again, maybe they will. Because it'll force watch it have the exact opposite effect. Instead of all these high name guys going to New York and Boston actually have to develop players again. And they can't just sign these top tier free agents. And these top tier free agents are spread out through the league, so it creates parity. Well, you have a lot more mediocre baseball. And you end up with New York and Boston are still juggernauts because there's instead of spending money on players, they're spending money on their minor league systems now. And so they bring a guy up for 3 years, and when he flames out, they let him go, and they have another guy in the pipe. They just plug and play, and it's Alabama, and it's Clemson, and it's Ohio State, and instead of being a college, it's pro ball, it's baseball. I understand where you're coming from. I understand the salary cap and the idea behind a salary cap.
Yeah, I get it.
The idea is that you can't have all of the top players playing in one city. And the idea is that you were able to spread out the free agents across more markets.
I guess how they're looking at it, Bud, is like you were just talking about. It'll open up more parity league wide than having the parity in the 4 or 5 juggernaut teams in Major League Baseball. I would have to say again. I agree with you guys. There will never be a cap in baseball. There needs to be a floor though, because the owner here in Tampa, we just signed Wander Franco. Okay, he got the biggest deal for a guy that has less than 1 year of service for a team. They signed him to a nice big contract, just like they did when Evan Longoria was here, so on and so forth. And it's good because they don't want a talent like him leaving. He was at one time the top prospect in the minor leagues, and they called him. I was there to watch his major league debut.
Yeah.
So
against the Red Sox of all teams,
correct, and he had a home run. A game-tying 2-run home run at the time. The Red Sox ended up winning the game, but he had hit a game-tying 2-run home run at the time. And again, there needs to be a salary for because again, just maybe in that case, if you can only pay your say the floor is 35 million or 50 million is the floor.
I was thinking 60 million. 60 million
is the floor. That means you have to pay your players at least $60 million, or
you pay
a luxury tax like the teams that go over.
Like top end luck.
Correct.
Yeah, both.
And I can tell you this right now: there's no way Stu Sternberg will pay any luxury tax at all. So he either will have to pay the players, or that's it is what it is.
Well, I was just thinking about that when you were saying that they locked up Evan Longoria to a long-term deal. What was that, 10, 15 years ago now?
Yeah, he played in San Francisco this year. Yeah.
Right. He's been there for a couple of years now. But when I think about that, and I think about you have to have an ownership group willing to spend money.
Correct.
So if you put in a cap, it doesn't do anything to stop the Kansas Cities of the world just not paying anybody.
Correct.
You know, Boston and New York and LA, they're gonna sit in Chicago. Both Chicago teams, they're gonna sit. If the salary cap's 190 million, they're gonna be at $189,999,999.99 on up into infinity. They're gonna sit there right on the cap, and they're not gonna have any. They're not gonna have any second thoughts about sitting right there on the cap. But your teams without a payroll, your teams that have 40 million in payroll, they're not gonna bat an eyelash. They're still gonna make whatever they were making before, and now they don't have to pay anybody.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know if that's being discussed amongst the new CBA, a floor or a cap or both. I don't know if that's being discussed.
Right now, they're not saying anything.
Yeah, because
I mean,
and again,
look,
with what happened, and you guys,
they went to a meeting and it lasted only 7 minutes. They were just saying, "Okay, I'm telling you now, we're getting out of here. Forget, we're done."
well, and you guys know, look what they did during COVID. They argued back and forth with how much we were going to get paid, what percentage of their paycheck they were going to get paid, and stuff like that. I think one of the major things I think is the players want a percentage of the stadium revenue, and I know the owners are not going to give that up because that's the way they make their money. You're not giving a percentage of that.
No, the TV contracts are how they pay the players.
Right. Correct.
Stadium revenue is how they make their money.
Correct.
It's how they keep the lights on, and
the players want part of that stadium revenue.
Right.
Yeah, right.
The lowest payroll last year was the Cleveland Indians or Guardians with $29 flat. $29 million flat.
How much was the raise, but just off chance?
It's $76 million.
Oh, that's not even close to being the lowest then.
It's 21st.
21st, okay.
Yeah, the Rays had the 21st highest. This is for 2022, so these numbers the Cleveland may have a higher payroll when we get closer to the season. Mm-hmm. The Mets have the highest projected payroll right now with $235,599,000.
They just signed Max Scherzer. Yep.
Scherzer.
Yep. To a massive. And
Stephen Cohen isn't backing off.
So this must be
Uncle Steve.
No, he's all in. He's all in.
Uncle Steve.
You as a Mets fan, you gotta love it.
Oh yeah.
As a Mets, I know. Luza. Right, I know. Well, who was that owner that they had before?
Wilpon.
Yeah. It's got to be a breath of fresh air in New York.
Oh yeah.
That the Wilpons aren't out there bilking you for billions of dollars now.
Right.
You gotta feel good as a Mets fan that you're actually getting players, you're getting free agents, you're trying to build a winner.
Well, I'm not a Mets fan myself, but some of my family is.
Right, I know that. I had alluded to that you're a Yankees fan, so you probably hate the Mets, but
with a passion. Oh yeah.
Oh, no matter what happens, and no matter what kind of players you bring in, you're still the little brother of New York. So
right.
Give it up.
Yeah. Who do you hate?
Big brother.
Who do you hate more, Boston or that other New York team, or do you hate them equally?
I think you have to say you hate them equally.
I hear you. Do you hate the Mets maybe a little bit less because you don't play them very often?
I got a point there. I mean, let's face it, because Boston may be something I may want to pee on. So that's
right.
Yeah.
Like if you see somebody walking down the street in a Boston hat, you might urinate on them. The Met you only spit on his shoes.
Well, no, if I did pee on the Mets, that'd be accidental.
Right, fair enough. It just
happened. With the Red Sox, it'd be with pleasure.
Okay. So if they were both on fire, who are you putting out? I wouldn't urinate on either of them.
It's really funny that you bring that up. Because when I was in New York, I did the tour of the old Yankee Stadium, the one that
before they tore it down.
And I went to the store
that's a touchdown.
They sell memorabilia stuff for the Yankees. And I bought an old school Red Sox hat, an old school hat.
Wow.
And check this out. I had a Florida Gator jacket on, and the guy looked at me. The employee in the shop goes, "Are you from Florida?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." He goes, "What the hell are you doing in New York?" He goes, "It's spring training in Florida." He goes, "Go home. It's warm." He goes, "It's too cold." So, so then the day that I left to go home, I was in a Manny Ramirez Boston Red Sox jersey with a hat on, leaving LaGuardia Airport. The security guard there was a female. She goes, "You better check him." I said, "Why don't you want me? Why would you check me? Why don't you want me out of here? Get rid of me. You don't want to hold me in the airport any longer than I have to be here."
Right.
Yeah. It was funny as hell.
I fear they would have stuck you in the car.
Comedy relief that is like, "Get him out of here. Get him out of here." I'm like,
He's a Red Sox.
I'll go right to my gate, and you don't have to see me anymore.
Stuff you in the cargo hold on your way out the door.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. I walked into the gas station yesterday, right? And Ohio State fans are so salty. So let's get to college.
I was going to say, we could flip to college.
The moral of the story is, boys and girls, oil and water don't mix.
Well, I will say this. We were.
You want to save that for the end? We can save that for the end. We'll go through everybody else, or we can start off the top with them. I don't care.
We were at. I'll start with the Gator game in my experience. Yeah. So I got to there. We couldn't find a parking space. Finally did. Got to see the Gators come out of the tunnel. Only the Gators get out alive. They only come out of the tunnel. And the entire time that we were there, most of the second half, the lady that was sitting next to me and my buddy, guess what? Had the Ohio State-Michigan game on her phone. We were watching the Ohio State-Michigan game, and everybody in the stands, no matter if they were wearing blue and orange or garnet and gold, were cheering for Michigan. Not one person in that stadium was cheering for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Not one. Not one. Because you could go around the same, hey, Michigan. Oh, Michigan. The score would pop up on the scoreboard. Oh, Michigan's winning. Yes. Take them out. Take them out. They were all cheering the entire game. But I will have to say, and I'll let you talk about Michigan and Ohio State. It was a great experience. I was happy that I finally got a chance to go and experience a game in Gainesville. Now, next year, I got to go to enemy territory. I have to go to Tallahassee and deal with fans next year. So, but yes, I mean, the big game of the weekend obviously was the Ohio State-Michigan game. So I'll let
keep that strap on you next year, though.
Yeah, I might have my weapon.
Okay, so yeah, definitely keep that strap on you. You're probably gonna need it.
Life preserver.
You might want to leave your Gator gear at the house.
Yeah.
Or neutral. We're Miami Hurricane colors or something else that.
Right.
Or find good hiding.
Wear your Bulls gear.
Yeah, USF. No one cares about them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
No.
Yeah, no one cares about
them. Nobody's gonna beat you up over the Bulls.
I did see a guy at the Gator game wearing USF gear. So brave soul wearing USF gear in the house. They lost to UCF by poor clock management because they should have beat them too. So
they should have. I was thinking about that. I was watching that game. I was like, wow, this is a really good game. I was like, man, USF is right here. They're right here. They got everything in front of them. All they got to do is execute.
Right.
And they couldn't get it done. So I went in the gas station. Needed some nicotine and a couple sodas for my buddy. We went shopping yesterday. And I go in, right? And I'm wearing my Michigan gear because, I've been wearing it all week.
All week?
And all week. Yeah, all week. This guy's like, you from Michigan? I was like, oh yeah, from Michigan. He's like, Michigan sucks. I was like, okay, whatever. I drink your tears.
A little bitter.
I drink your tears. I drink your tears. He's like, Alabama and Ohio State, but I was like, fuck Ohio.
And you know what? And you can tell him this. If you happen to see him again, tell him Alabama's going to get their asses kicked on Saturday by Georgia. So
I would say
Georgia's going to crush them.
Georgia's a much superior team to Alabama. Alabama struggled last week against Auburn.
They should have lost. They should have lost
to Auburn. So
they should have lost. Alabama, all Auburn had to do was make one stop, get one stop, and the game's over.
You should have lost. You're right, but
so it's
not superior at all.
A salty Ohio State fan, huh? Saw you in your Michigan.
Yeah. And I get up to the counter, put my stuff up there, and the guy behind the counter was like, we're sorry, sorry about that. Sorry about that guy. I was like, oh, whatever. And then go blue all day.
Right.
It's like, I was like, you know what? It ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it. I mean, let them be salty. I mean, it's the first time in 10 years that they've had to suffer a loss in the rivalry. Yes. It's the first time that they've been on the other side. It's the first time that they can't chat shit. I just broke my chair. Cool.
Can I interrupt you real quick? Do you know what I congratulate, and I was pulling for them. You know what would have made that even better, Bud, to be honest with you? If you beat them in Columbus. If you beat them in Columbus, then they can be really salty.
Yes.
Next year, we get to run them out of their. Next year we get to run them out of their own building, like they've done to us for so many years.
Yeah.
You know, as much as gratifying and satisfying as that win was, you know, we still have work to do. I have no idea, but I broke my chair somehow. I think. I don't know. I was leaning in my chair and felt it break.
No.
Well, it looks like I just broke the back of it. Oh well.
Careful.
Yeah, no, right? Anyway, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes, and I'm okay with it. But no, you know, we were talking about that before we went on break for last week. We were talking about the game, and you know, Michigan State got throttled. They got absolutely handled by Ohio State. You know, they had 49-0 at the half. And on Thursday at last break, I went back and I watched the highlights from the Ohio State Michigan State game, and I was watching it and I was like, okay, I see what happened here. Michigan State secondary let them run all over the field on them.
Mm-hmm.
If Michigan secondary can run with the wide receivers and keep everything in front of him, make the tackles, we'll be fine. It'll be a ball game. Everybody was talking about the much vaunted Ohio State offense, and what I saw was big plays. Live by the big play, die by the big play. And Ohio State couldn't get the big play on Saturday. They had one play of 30 yards. That was it. They couldn't run on Michigan's defense. And then Michigan, what really helped was coming out of the locker room at the half on fire. Ross makes that huge stop on 3rd and 2. On 3rd and 2, he shoots the gap and stones the Ohio State running back for a loss of 2, and they can't go for it on 3rd and 4 from your own 31. You gotta kick it away. Michigan gets the ball back. Ohio State kicks the ball to us. We get the ball back, and we march down the field in three plays. A run left, run up the middle, run to the right, and we got 21-13 at that point. At that point, you're feeling really good about yourself. Then you get another stop. You go get another touchdown. Now they're down by 15, and it's a matter of just keeping the Ohio State offense on the field, making them use the whole clock and the whole field. You know, because you can drive on these guys. You know you can score points on these guys.
Okay.
And so it wasn't like how many, there was a game I was thinking about from a couple years ago, the Michigan State game. Michigan hadn't been able. Michigan's defense played absolutely out of their mind, and gave up 14 points, and Michigan lost 10-14 because the offense couldn't get it done. And it's like Michigan's defense didn't play out of this world. They didn't blow Ohio State out. On the scoreboard, it was 42-27. But if you watch the game and you see what Michigan did, and you see what they did against that Ohio State defense or offense is they kept everything in front of them. They didn't let Olave or Wilson or that other wide receiver, the big three, never got over the top. And they didn't play too high safety. They played a lot of one, and they played a lot of.
Just scored a goal. Sorry.
Are you watching the Lightning game?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I assume they scored.
Yeah, they're up 2-1.
Oh.
Or Sorelli. Sorelli had the goal. We lost to the Blues the other day, after being up 3-0. So.
Ugh, that's a tough one. Hey, I hate those.
Real quick, and I'll let you continue. It reminds me a lot of the national championship game when the Gators played Ohio State and how Ohio State had the great offense and no one could stop it. But
was that 2008?
That's the 2008 championship. That was the Chris Leak championship. Tebow was the backup. Chris Leak was our starter. And and I'll let you get back real quick. I was in Disney World and I had it, and I still have the shirt. It says "Beat the Nuts out of OSU," and on the back of the shirt, it's blue and orange. And I got harassed by Ohio State. They're like, and I'm like, well, wait a second, time out. What state are you in right now? You are in Florida. Don't you come down here thinking that you're gonna run this state? You're not. You're away from home. And I said, you know what? I said, wouldn't it be interesting if we whoop your ass? And we did whip their ass.
Right.
Championship game. But again, I'll let you continue about that because
breaking down this game and breaking down what I thought we needed to do was we need to be effective in the passing game. And there was one pass that we hit 3 passes all day we hit three passes all day to seal the game. The first one was going into the half. McNamara hit Chris Johnson on a fly. It's a simple go, single man. It was man outside, and Chris Johnson Johnson got a great release and just beat his man straight up, and there was no safety help over the top. So it's 1-on-1 on the outside, and all I don't know why I'm blanking on these names and why I'm having such trouble with this. Now, I've been so fired up to talk about this all week, and now I'm having issues. McNamara hits Johnson, just puts it out in front of him, where the only place that he can get it, the only guy that can get it is his guy. It's either going to be his guy or it's going to be incomplete. It's a great throw. And then McCarthy comes in the start of the second half and hits Roman Wilson on a stop route. It was a simple. It was a two high safety look with safety in zone over the top. So you had safety over the top, corner underneath, and Wilson found the soft spot in the coverage in the zone. Turned around, sat down, and McCarthy, because you got to respect the run. You can't come up. You can't play back. You can't play off. You got to respect the run. McCarthy's ability to run and respect the running game because the running game's been there all day. McCarthy drops it into Roman Wilson's hands on a dime, man. Great throw. And then later on, in that same drive, McNamara comes in, comes back in, goes. I can't remember if they went hard play action or if there wasn't any action on that play, I don't think. But Sandristle out of the backfield, the play is to the right. Everybody goes right, and when everybody goes right, Sandristle comes out to the left side and is wide open, and all McNamara got to do is throw it up and let him go get it. And that was what they had to do to beat Ohio State this past Saturday, was just make the plays when they were there to be made. They didn't have to play out of their mind. They didn't have to play out of this room. They just couldn't let Ohio State have the big play and it wasn't going to be. It was going to be 3 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards, and then you're going to pop a big one. And see, Ohio State wasn't able to do that last Saturday. They didn't have those 3 and 4 and 5 yard plays all day. They were very, very frustrated. And then when you watch the end of the game, yeah, I know that C.J. Stroud had a lot of yards, but he also had 4 sacks. And that Ohio State offensive line was getting killed all game long by the front 4 of Michigan. They weren't bringing extra people. And that's what's the nice thing is they were able to stay in coverage and play 2-man high and drop the linebackers into coverage and play 7 across the front and not have to bring that extra guy because the front 4 were able to get there all game long. Aiden Hutchinson had 3. Ojabo had 1. I think Hinton had a couple of tackles for loss. I mean, Ross had a tackle for loss. When they were in a run heavy formation and you knew it was running, when you knew they were going to run, and Michigan was able to make the stop. And the same, when Ohio State was, when Michigan was on offense and you knew it was going to be run, it was going to be Haskins. Haskins was going 1 of 3 places. He's going right, he's going left, he's going up the middle. And Michigan dared Ohio State to stop it. And they couldn't do it. And I said that in the Washington game 5 months ago. Now, when I watched that game, everybody was clamoring for Michigan to throw the ball. Why aren't we throwing the ball? Why aren't we throwing the ball? Why aren't we throwing the ball? I think we had like 15 attempts in that game. And they just ran all over Washington. And the talk around Ann Arbor and in the Michigan Facebook groups was, we can't beat Ohio State like this. And I was like, why not? If it's going to work, it's going to work. It's going to work against everybody. And you could tell that those kids from Texas and California didn't like playing in the cold.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, if you want to, we can talk about the 5 championship games and go through the spreads and everything. But you guys want to talk about the coaching carousel that went on now that there's been some new
there's some new faces and new places.
We'll start with LSU.
Right.
We all know Coach O was out as they announced.
Right.
But here's the thing. Now you have Brian Kelly who leaves Notre Dame.
Right.
And here's what I have heard through the grapevine, and again, I could be wrong, but supposedly he talked to his players for just 4 minutes before he left the building.
No
Now,
class.
I heard
2 minutes.
Yes, I agree. 2 minutes.
No, it was 2 minutes.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. He did the same thing at Cincinnati. When he
Yep.
left Cincinnati to go to Notre Dame, he did the exact same thing. So again,
Mhm.
and here's the thing too. Now he
He's
goes
been
to
a
LSU.
scumbag for years.
Now he goes to LSU, where the academic requirements are. And again, I'm not dissing on LSU by any means of the imagination.
No.
As far
No.
as being an educational institute, but the academic requirements are much stringier at Notre Dame than they are at LSU. I have a good friend of mine who graduated from LSU. But what I'm saying is,
Right.
it's
The academic requirements at LSU are much easier
correct
to recruit than they are at Notre Dame.
So now Brian Kelly can bring anybody he wants
Just
to
about.
LSU compared to having to an
adhere
athlete
to a
that's
higher
gonna have to
academic
stick to a
standard.
certain
Yeah.
at Notre Dame. So again, yes, that was a absolute POS move by him. But again, like you just said, he's been kind of that
He's
way.
been a douche like that for his
while.
entire coaching career.
I think. Go ahead.
It's like I said on TikTok. Anybody wanting to know why we need the transfer portal, this is exactly why we need the transfer portal, because it's not fair for these guys to be able to leave in the middle of the night, pack a U-Haul up to their house, pack all their shit in it, and just leave. And these kids got to beg and plead to be able to transfer.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say the coach that got the best deal, I think, was Lincoln Riley. I don't know if you guys heard that deal. He gets $112 million. They paid off all his houses in Oklahoma, bought him a $6 million house in Southern California. He gets to use the team plane 24/7 for him and his family at any time. Trust me, if someone offered me that deal, I'd be signing immediately. There's
I wouldn't turn it down.
Hesitating that you're going to hesitate.
Well, and then you look at what happened on, they're like, I had seen more of a conspiratorial video on TikTok claiming that, USC dumps their head coach back in September, and then now they hire Lincoln Riley, and there must have been something going on there beforehand. I disagree, because I think that what I think happened was that they didn't know who they wanted. And what happened was that Lincoln Riley lost on Saturday night. If Oklahoma wins, I don't think USC thinks about entertains bringing him in. If Oklahoma wins, he's on to the Big 12 championship game, and probably and potentially a berth in the playoff.
Maybe Brian Kelly goes to USC instead.
Maybe. I think Brian Kelly was already on his way to LSU anyway, honestly.
Most likely.
From what my feeling on that is, Brian Kelly was already on his way to LSU. It's very much it's very much why we need the transfer portal, because if these head coaches can leave their schools, then these players need to be able to leave just as easily.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're an academic player, if you're just a dude going to school and you want to go, you're like, this is not for me. Let's say you go to Ann Arbor, get that big time college life. It's not for you. You can't study. You want to go and transfer to a smaller school. Say you want to go to Central Michigan
or USF.
Or or maybe you get to Ann Arbor and it's like, I want to go experience Florida. I want to go experience.
Right.
So you want to go, let's say you go to UC Irving or some smaller school out in California, or you go to USF. If you're just an academic, if you're going for academics, you can transfer anywhere you want. You just put in your transfer papers and you leave. And why can't athletes just put in their transfer papers and leave?
Well, speaking of the transfer portal, but I just saw earlier as we were getting on the show that there's been 2 North Carolina wide receivers that have transferred to USF. So there must be some kind of. We got a lot of players from North Carolina last year in the transfer portal. So maybe there's a line from USF to North Carolina and back and forth.
What's your coach's name? Because I can never remember. Jeff Scott. Thank you.
Jeff Scott.
Well, Jeff Scott coached at Clemson
Got the Carolina roots. Yeah.
And so I can imagine him having having talked to a lot of North Carolina recruits.
Yeah.
Were they grad
doubt.
transfers?
Yeah.
Were those wide receivers grad transfers? Is that what they were?
Probably grad.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, I can see. But no, just basking in the glory of this win over the weekend.
Well, I mean, I was going to speak about Billy Napier taking over for Dan Mullen at Florida.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I'm not surprised that Mullen got fired. I think, like I mentioned earlier, maybe last week before the break, that I thought that he had lost the team for the second time in his existence. Last year, he lost them in the game against.
Yeah, when they didn't want to play in the ball game for him.
Right. And I think he lost the team earlier this year. They went on a 5-game losing streak, and again, nothing against Florida State, but they lost to a special teams coordinator with no offensive coordinator, no defense coordinator. Both of them were gone by the time that the game happened on Saturday. But Billy Napier, I guess, is a good recruiter where Dan Mullen was not a good recruiter.
Yeah.
So that's definitely is going to change at Florida. Now, again, I've seen a lot of players transferring out because they don't want to be here because, again, they don't fit the system. So I 100% agree with you. If you don't fit the system, you should have the ability to transfer to where you can go and be comfortable again, without having to sit out a year. You should be able to transfer. And again,
that's a stupid rule.
The good thing about COVID now, too, the good thing about it is at least you get an extra year because they gave the kids an extra year because of 2020. So if you want to stay and be a 5th year or a 6-year player, you can do that because you got an extra year to do that. So that makes that nice as well.
I mean, it's a stupid rule to have them penalized to stay out a year for being.
I agree.
Yeah,
that's a stupid rule.
Well, the idea was 15 years ago when they first started this, when they put that rule in, was that you could just transfer anywhere you wanted. You play 2 years at a Marshall and transfer to Michigan, or something like that.
Right.
And when they first proposed this rule, I thought it was going to be good. I thought it was going to be good for college football. I thought, we can have a lot of guys go. A lot of guys are going to be able to play. Are going to stay at smaller schools, and those smaller schools are going to be able to build themselves up. Well, that hasn't happened. It hasn't had the desired effect of keeping guys as your Central Michigans, at your South Floridas, at your Marshalls. The big schools are just going to recruit those guys anyway now.
Right.
If you're a 3-star athlete or you're a 3-star recruit, Michigan doesn't want to lose you to Central Michigan anymore.
No.
So you don't get to, so you don't have those talented, maybe less academically skilled, but talented players going to smaller schools and then coming to the big schools.
I agree. If you guys want to, we can go through the 5 championship games.
Yeah.
And the lines. And I'll go ahead and give my picks. I don't think I ever give my picks. I think I let you guys pick, and I never really give my 2 cents.
You either agree or disagree.
I'm
disagree with that.
So we'll start with the Pac-12, which is tomorrow night. You have number 10 Oregon Ducks against the number 17 Utah Utes. The line is 2.5 for Utah. The over/under is 59.5.
Oregon.
Yeah, I'm thinking Oregon too.
I'm taking Utah. Utah beat the crap out of Oregon a couple weeks ago.
That's what worries me. It's because I don't like playing a team a second time.
Well, and the line is basically 3. So I mean, they're so I mean,
and it's a neutral site game, so that takes a lot of that out of it.
Vegas, right?
Vegas
sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to take Utah. I want Utah to win. But I don't know, because this is the second time you're playing them. I just having the book on, Utah's got, Oregon's got a book on Utah now. I don't think you'll have a kick return at the end of the second half to go up by 3 scores going into the break. I think there was a lot of things that, there's just a lot of fortuitous bounces for Utah in the last game. that I think that's going to make, and I think it's going to help Oregon get back to where they want to be. So I'm going Oregon.
Okay. The next one is the Big 12. That's number 9 Baylor versus number 5 Oklahoma State. That's at noon. The line is 5.5, favoring the Cowboys. The over/under is 46.5.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I'll stay.
I would agree with you guys on that one. I think Oklahoma State wins.
I'd love Baylor to win just for chaos sake.
The next one is the SEC Championship at 4 o'clock on Saturday. The line, that's between number 1 Georgia, number 3 Alabama. The Bulldogs are a 6.5-point underdog. The total is 49.5. I'm taking Georgia in both the line and the total as well.
Georgia.
Dog?
I'm taking the Dogs. There's no way you can't tell me that Alabama, they have to only win by a touchdown.
Alabama's the favorite?
No, Georgia's the favorite. Georgia's a 6.5.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I read that incorrectly. Bama
Okay,
is Bama's underdog.
Yeah. No, Dogs all the way.
Yeah, I agree.
I want Alabama to keep it close. I want Alabama to expose that Georgia defense so I can get a read on it and see what we got to do. But
watch the game. You might get Nick Saban's going to have them boys ready. Saban's going to have the boys.
He's going to have them up for that game.
Yeah.
They got to win this game if they want to make the playoffs.
Correct.
There's no way if they lose and they lose unconvincingly that they make the playoffs. They're out. Yep. And it's going to be bedlam. It's going to be crazy. Georgia by 3. Alabama will cover.
The next game is the Big Ten Championship. Number 2 Michigan against number 13 Iowa. The line is 10.5 in favor of the Wolverines. The over/under is 43.5. I'll take Michigan.
I don't know
if they'll cover. Game. I don't think they'll cover.
Don't like this game.
I think
don't like this matchup.
I think
I don't like this matchup.
3 or 4 point win. I don't know if Iowa can score 24 points against Michigan. So
no,
I don't know. I would take.
They shouldn't.
Wow.
But I don't like this matchup.
What is it that you don't like? Are you scared of Iowa?
I don't like Iowa. I don't like playing Iowa. I didn't want Iowa. I wanted Nebraska to beat Iowa and Minnesota to beat Wisconsin, so we got with Minnesota.
Okay.
Iowa is one of those scary teams because Iowa has this tendency to jump up there and bite you.
You guys didn't play Iowa this year, right?
We haven't played Iowa this year, no. And they're hot right now.
Their head coach is still
Kurt Ferentz.
Yeah,
Kurt Ferentz.
And
he's a great coach. No, I'm not betting against my boys. I'm taking Michigan all the way. Michigan and the points. What was the over? 43?
The over is 43.5.
It's in the Dome. It's in Indianapolis. No weather. Weather won't be a factor. I'm going to take the over. Michigan, the points in the over. But I'm still not. I'll lose sleep tomorrow night. It's not a team.
The game isn't on until 8 o'clock on Saturday. If anyone you lose,
God,
Saturday
okay,
night.
I'll lose Saturday night.
I may lose depending on what happens on Saturday night. I may or may not lose sleep. On Saturday night. Tomorrow night.
Well, if you do lose sleep on Saturday, it's because you're excited and not sad.
That's true.
It's hard to sleep when your team wins.
I said that too.
Yeah. No, if I sleep good on Saturday night, it's not a good sleep.
The last go ahead.
Oh no, I two big things. Well, I look back at the Michigan-Purdue game, Michigan State-Purdue, and getting that win against Michigan. I said it going into that game, Purdue's gonna win this game. Michigan State is they're sucking their own fumes. They're high on their own. They're high on their own supply. And I thought Purdue is going to jump up there and bite them. And thanks for that, we're in the playoff, or we're in the Big Ten championship now. And I'm just afraid of us playing flat, playing down to Iowa. And we do that way too often, is play down to teams that we should just run out of the building. It should be 42-27. It should be 42-14. But I look at the
the emotional letdown from last year.
Yeah.
Is the
Yeah.
other
But
thing that you got to be.
Iowa plays fast, and they have a good defense, and they cause turnovers. If we can play clean, mistake-free football, there's no reason why we shouldn't just run them out of Indianapolis and send them back to Iowa, send them back to Ames, unhappy. But
Right.
I just don't like Iowa. Iowa they're a legend killer. They will jump up there and bite you.
Yeah. Well, the last championship game has no playoff implication. It's the ACC championship, and who would have thought at the beginning of the season that we would not see a Clemson, we would not see a Miami, an FSU, and North Carolina, or an NC State. But the fact
Yeah, I
that
had NC State at the beginning of the year.
We have the Pittsburgh Panthers and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons in the ACC championship.
We missed one.
We missed one?
We did.
Yeah, we're Cincinnati. Is that tomorrow night?
Well, these are the Power Five, but I can go.
Okay, yeah. We'll grab that one. Let's finish this one up, and then we'll grab that one.
Ranked.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is a 3-point favorite with the over/under. Are you ready for this? 72.5.
What?
Over. Give me the over. That's a barn burner waiting to happen. That has the potential to be the best game of the night. That is a barn burner waiting to happen.
That's an 8 o'clock kick too. 8 o'clock kick too on Saturday. So same time the Michigan game is on, it'll be on. I'm assuming the ACC will probably be on CBS because
or ABC.
10 will be on Fox. So
yeah,
ABC. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
if it was a basketball game, I would take Wake Forest, but this is football. I think Pittsburgh is a little bit better.
I agree. I think Pitt wins too. I think Pitt wins quarterback.
Too, yeah.
They got a better quarterback. Wake plays good offense too, but
it should be a barn burner. That game should be everything you want in a football game.
Oh, that might be the best of the 5 championship games. That might be the best one to watch. Yeah. The funnest to watch. It probably won't be very stressful, unless you are a fan of Wake Forest. Then it would be stressful. But if you're not, it'll probably be fun. Let me see what the line is for Cincinnati Houston.
I forgot something.
That's a huge game.
Again, Cincinnati, if they win, they're in the playoffs.
They should be in.
Take anything away from them.
No, they get that. That's a quality win against a quality opponent, especially if Alabama loses. The only thing that can trip up Cincinnati is Alabama and OSU winning. If Alabama and OSU win, Cincinnati may be on the outside.
Forget about it.
Yeah, it's a 4 o'clock kick.
Okay.
They're playing at home. Cincinnati is at home in Nippert Stadium.
Oh wow. I thought that would have been a neutral site.
No, come to find out, the ACC championship game is played by the best team. I think it's a host. I kind of being that I've covered the Bulls all year, I thought, hey, maybe if the game's in Orlando, hey, I can get credentials and go cover the championship game. I was offered that a few years ago and turned it down because UCF was in the championship game. But anyway, it is Houston versus number 4 Cincinnati. The Bearcats are a 10.5-point favorite with the over/under being 53.
The Bearcats should roll. This should not be a contest. Houston's not a bad team, but Cincinnati is that much better.
Their records are very close. Houston's 11-1 overall, and the Bearcats are 12-0. Both 8-0 in the Americans. They didn't lose a game in the conference.
They didn't play each other. Yeah,
they did not play each other this year. This is the first time.
I wasn't sure if they had played each other or not.
No, they have not played each other this year.
I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Is it has huge playoff implications.
Yep. Sure it does.
I think Cincinnati. I will say this: I don't think they deserve to be there. I think Notre Dame's better than them. I think OSU's better than them. I think Ohio State's better than them. I think Alabama's better than them. But they've done everything that they're supposed to do. And if Alabama loses and OSU loses, then Cincinnati should be number 3. There's no reason that they shouldn't. They've done everything that they can do. There's nothing else that they can do.
Yep.
It's not their fault that they play in such a weak conference.
True.
Right.
I mean, and they scheduled Notre Dame and they beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame should not jump them because Notre Dame went back to being an independent this year. They didn't stay in the ACC. They're not playing in the ACC championship game.
Mhm.
And I think that Cincinnati has done everything they can do to earn the right to play in the college football playoff, whether they be the 4 or the 3, because Georgia and Michigan are going to win.
Well, yeah, correct. So I mean,
and the thing that Cincinnati does not want is Alabama to win. The last thing that they can have happen is an Alabama win, because if Alabama wins, if Michigan, Alabama, and Cincinnati all win, Michigan goes to 1, Alabama goes to 2, Georgia goes to 3.
Yeah.
And then if OSU wins, then there will be talk that does OSU, who beat Oklahoma last week as the number 6 team and beat Baylor this week as the number 9 team, they have a much better resume than a undefeated Cincinnati team.
Correct. So you're telling me that they're hoping that Georgia and Baylor both win?
Yes.
They need both of those teams to win.
They need ideally for them, Georgia, Iowa, and Baylor all win.
If whoever loses this game, I think is going to be out of the bowl champion series between Alabama and Georgia. Whoever loses, I think is going to be out.
Georgia will not be out. Georgia will make the playoff. They'll be 12-1, and their only loss will be to a number 3 Alabama team. There's no way they'll keep them out.
So you think they'll both stay in the top 4?
Yeah. But it'll be the 3. They won't be 1 anymore.
Yeah.
If Michigan beats Iowa, Michigan will be,
and they beat them. Yep. If they beat Iowa convincingly, they will be number 1. Georgia will be number 2. Alabama will stay 3, and then Cincinnati will be 4.
Yeah,
and they will get the Wolverines.
State wins, and if Baylor, then Oklahoma State will probably be 4 at that point.
Yeah, I can see a scenario where Cincinnati gets snubbed yet again, because you have Baylor, Cincinnati with 1 win against a Power 5 team, and then the rest of their schedule is either non-Power 5 teams or AAC teams, AAC, the AC, and with their signature wins being over a down Notre Dame and a 21 Houston. You have a team that beat the 6th team in the country and the 9th team in the country, and has an 12-1 record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, there are 2 other championship games that I go to ESPN. You have the Mountain West championship game between Utah State, San Diego State. The Aztecs are a 6-point favorite with the over/under being 50. It's in Carson, California, so it's a neutral site game.
Yep.
All right.
I like San Diego State.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aztecs.
Yeah. I think the Aztecs get it.
And the other one, guys, is the Sun Belt Conference.
Oh, okay.
That's Appalachian State versus Louisiana, where Billy Napier, the former coach,
is he going to coach in that game?
He is going to coach in that game for the Raging Cajuns. Appalachian State's a 3-point favorite, with the over/under being 53.
App State and the over.
Okay, let me see if that.
I'm going to go Louisiana.
I'm going to take the Raging Cajuns too. I think
it's a lame duck game for Billy Napier.
But that's basically it for all the championship games.
It's a MAC game.
I'm sorry?
The MAC?
The MAC? It doesn't show me the MAC. Huh. Are they not playing until next week? Hang on a second.
No, they play. I saw it on the ticker.
I think it's Sunday.
Yeah, because I'm looking till December 6th, and that would be Sunday, and they don't have it listed down here. I have the ACC, Big Ten, American, SEC, Sun Belt, Mountain West, and the Big 12. I don't see, and the Pac-12. I don't see the MAC on here.
I guess then give a right answer.
Because the only game that's next week is next Saturday, and that's the only game. We'll talk about
It's Golden State. Golden State. It's Toledo and Northern Illinois.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You don't know that. Okay.
All right. No biggie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's biggie for those two schools, but yeah, it's not.
Right.
Should
not
be a good one.
not
Should be a
anything
good one.
major
Well,
for that.
Should be a lot of fun if you like offense.
Yeah.
Should be a lot
like
of fun.
offense.
I do too.
So let's flip to the pro level.
Dan Campbell needs to be fired.
Well, I was going to say real quick before we get into the games. Here are the semifinalists for the Hall of Fame class of 2022. So you let me know if all or a lot of these guys deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and I'll go down the list. We'll start with Eric Allen, the cornerback. Eric Allen.
No.
Okay. Defensive end Jared Allen for the Vikings.
Yes. Absolutely.
Offensive tackle Willie Anderson.
Where did he play?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't know.
I want to say he played at the 90s Cowboys. If that was so, then yes, he should be in.
Okay. Yes.
Cornerback safety Rondé Barber of the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wide receiver Anquan Bolden.
No.
Does Bolden belong in the Hall of Fame?
No, probably not. He didn't do enough.
No.
He was good, but he was never great.
Offensive tackle Tony Baselli.
Yes.
Wires.
Yes.
His career,
Yes.
Jaguars.
I'll take
Safety Leroy Butler.
Don't recognize the name. I'm going to say no.
Packers. He played for the Packers.
All
Okay.
right.
I don't recognize.
Running back Eddie George.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Eddie George should have been in a long time ago.
Wide receiver kick returner Devin Hester.
No.
Wide receiver Torrey Holtz.
Borderline, but no.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Wide receiver Andre Johnson. Texans.
No.
No.
Okay. Defensive end
He was
Robert.
good, but he was never great.
Defensive end Robert Mattis. I think the Colts. I think he played a lot of.
Yeah,
time
he should be in.
Indianapolis.
Yes.
Linebacker Sam Mills.
I don't recognize the name.
No.
Defensive tackle Richard Seymour.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not in?
No.
And nope.
Wow.
Wide receiver
No.
Steve Smith Sr.
Yes.
Yes.
He was a stud in
This guy
Carolina.
right here, I don't know why he's not in here either. Wide receiver special team Steve Tasker. Why is Steve Tasker not?
No. Why not?
He
I
should
think-
absolutely be in.
Absolutely, he should be in.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Running back Fred Taylor. Big time.
Borderline, not this year, maybe next year.
Linebackers Zach Thomas.
Yes.
Borderline.
Okay.
I'm okay with it either way.
Wide receiver Hines Ward.
Yes. Yes.
I think Hines Ward deserves to be in the
Oh,
Hall.
hell yes. Hines Ward was one of the greatest receivers of the 21st century.
You bet.
Linebacker DeMarcus Ware.
Yes.
Linebacker? Yeah. He played a lot. He played in the ground a lot. He played a three down. He played that stand up edge rusher a lot.
Yep.
He kind of created that position. That position that Aiden Hutchinson now plays.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he should be in. He should be in for reinventing the defensive end position. He should be in. That's why you don't see a lot of two down linemen anymore. You don't see a nose guard anymore. You got a lot of guys playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot of
boy. Come on.
4-3, and you have two big guys in the middle and two smaller guys on the outside that have high motor. He's such a high motor guy.
I'm surprised these next three aren't in the Hall of Fame. I'll start with Ricky Waters. How is Ricky Waters?
No.
Put him in.
No.
Yes.
No.
I think he
had too many off the field issues. No.
Oh,
The only reason he came back to play was they were going to fine him for smoking dope.
Well,
these things go into a lot.
Or wait, Ricky Waters. Sorry, no, I was thinking Ricky Williams.
I was going to say,
I'm sorry. No, that's my bad.
Ricky Waters
No.
was with the 49ers for a lot of his career.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I was thinking Ricky
already. No, I know.
Oh no. I apologize. Ricky.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was thinking Ricky Williams. I apologize.
Ricky Waters definitely belongs in the Hall. I'm like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
he didn't do dope. I'm like, what
No.
the hell? Not that I heard of. Maybe he
Whatever.
did.
Well, whatever. I thought Ricky Lake. So,
Right.
But yes,
Here I
Ricky
am.
Waters.
If anyone's doing dope, it's me. I'm the dope here. I
Ricky
apologize.
Waters.
No,
Ricky
you're right.
Waters
Yeah, Ricky.
definitely deserves.
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
The next one is Reggie Wayne. How is Reggie Wayne not in the Hall of Fame already?
Yeah.
That's flabbergasting too that he's not in the
Well,
Hall.
I think this may be his first year of eligibility.
Could be.
Uh-huh.
And then after him, how about Vince Wilfork? Here's another guy that needs.
Yeah, he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. If nothing else, if for nothing else, then butt fumble.
Yeah, that's him. The last three are linebacker Patrick Willis. Again, he played a lot of his career with
He
San
played in.
Francisco.
No. Did he? I thought he
Did
played in New Orleans.
That could be two. I mean, I might have the wrong guy. Okay. Yeah, so he's there. Another guy who I can't believe isn't in there either is Darren Woodson. How is Darren Woodson not in there?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh wait, no, it was Darren Sharper. They got in all that trouble for the.
Woodson played for the Steelers for a lot of years. He was
he played in Green Bay
before Troy Polamalu, who Polamalu got in last year. So how does that work?
Yeah.
Was it with the hair, without?
He with his hair. He was all.
No. He actually had to cut his hair off because they sent his hair to the Hall of Fame.
I was trying to make a joke, guys. Okay, it backfired.
And the last one, guys, is defensive tackle Bryant Young is the final of the guys that are eligible this year for
25 and cut down to 10.
Yeah, so
and then they cut it down to 5.
You got to eliminate 5 of those guys, and then you cut it down to 5. So yeah. So,
I don't know how you can say that those guys. I mean, it's the Hall of Fame. It's not the Hall of Greats. Because if it's the Hall of Greats, there's only a handful of people that ever get to go in. It's the Hall of Fame.
It's a league company.
And I hate this bogus argument. Well, he didn't do enough. I mean, what's enough? Is it 10,000? What's enough for a running back? 10,000 yards and 100 touchdowns? Is it 15,000 yards and 200 touchdowns? What's enough? Or is it? Well, he only had 8,000 yards and
150 touchdowns.
He only had 8,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. But let's look at Oh, help me here. Played in Denver at the end of the 90s. Terrell Davis?
Davis.
Davis,
he's in the Hall of Fame, and he absolutely. He was instrumental in both of those Super Bowl wins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't understand why people can say for 90% of the guys that are Hall of Fame eligible, they should go in. I mean, I understand some guys that don't go in. So, some guys, they just didn't do enough in their career. Like Zach Thomas. I don't know if he did enough in his career to go in. They didn't have a lot of playoff runs when he was there. He didn't have crazy numbers. He was very good. Don't get me wrong. He was very good. But I don't know if I would put him in the Hall of Fame. But you look at some of the other, like Torrey Holt. I mean, the dude was a beast for freaking 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely dominated him and Isaac Bruce. Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, neither one of them would have been the same without the other. And to put Isaac Bruce in the Hall of Fame, and then say Torrey Holt doesn't get to go in, is a travesty.
I'm gonna go see that movie about Kurt Warner.
I can't wait to see that. It comes out on Christmas Day.
Underdog,
yeah. It looks really good.
The guy that played Shazam is the guy that's
Zach.
All right.
Zachary Levi.
Yeah, Zach. Yep, he's the one.
And he was awesome. Shazam is the best DC movie.
And then Shazam. And then you have The Rock, who's playing Black Adam. So you'll see him, and that's the main antagonist to Shazam. Black Adam. So kind of cool to see The Rock as his dream role was to play Black Adam. So he's going to get that opportunity to get to do that.
Yeah.
Real quick, if you guys want to, we can go through the schedule for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
it. Real quick before while you're pulling that up, I'm just gonna rip Dan Campbell again.
Go right ahead.
Having no idea.
Go ahead.
For having no idea what the rules were. And I saw some people on Facebook were going on about how it's a new rule. No, it's been in the rule book for at least 15 years. Because I remember when they put that son of a bitch in the rule book. I remember hating. You'd have a team with 2 or 3 timeouts, and it'd be at the end of the game. 5-10 seconds left, and it's coming down to a last-second field goal. And you'd have guys, they'd take a timeout. Kicker would go up there, go through his routine, get ready to kick. And there's, just before he goes in, you'd call a timeout. And he'd come back and get ready to go. And just by the time he get the snap off, he'd call a timeout. And he'd go through his routine again, get ready, call that third timeout. You had 3 timeouts. And so, so the last 30, 40 seconds of the game is taking 10, 15 minutes. So the NFL put in that rule where you couldn't call, the same team couldn't call back-to-back timeouts.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the NFL, the way the rule is written is you can't call back-to-back timeouts.
No.
But if you do call back, if you signal for a second timeout, the official is trained to ignore you. If they do allow you to have that second timeout, it's a 5-yard penalty. Granted, in this grand scheme of things, I don't really know how much that would have changed the outcome, having them have. But what I hate is the fact that it gave the Bears kicker another chance to go through all of his stuff, get himself settled, and kick it. And it cost you 5 yards for not knowing the rules.
Mm-hmm.
More than anything, it's the. We talked about that going into the season. We talked about it after that first press conference. And we had, and I was like, all right, pump the brakes. Everybody pump the brakes. This guy is in the second coming of Jesus Christ. He's interesting. He's interesting. And I don't hate him. It's interesting, but he's never been a head coach before. He's never been an offensive coordinator before. He's only ever been a tight ends coach. And I just don't know where we're going to go. And then we get into spring training here. Fall camp. What do they call that?
Training camp.
Training camp. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. We get into training camp, and we have a fight in training camp. And instead of disciplining the guys and shutting that shit down and being, all right, I get the passion, I get the fire in your belly, and that wanting to play. We end up Dan Campbell out here praising guys for fighting. And I'm like, that sets a terrible precedent. Is somebody eating cookies?
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're okay. I just want to know what kind you had.
Cheetos, actually.
Oh, nice.
Cheetos are good.
Nothing wrong with that.
It sounded like you were opening up a package of Oreos.
No, I heard that before. I'm like, well, maybe he's enjoying cookies or something, and no, Cheetos are fine. It doesn't matter if you're eating anyway. It's cool.
No.
It's cool.
Okay.
No. This is the unprofessional podcast. We don't care. We need merch. We would call ourselves the unprofessionals. If somebody wants to hook up with a t-shirt, the unprofessionals on it, I'll wear that. I'll rock it. But no, and that was my biggest concern going into the year was we're going to play undisciplined. We're going to be undisciplined and sloppy and out of position. Mm-hmm. And where are we? We're 0-10-1, and we play sloppy, undisciplined, unresponsible football. Mm-hmm. And everybody's out here trying to make excuses for the guy. And I'm like, this is the same shit that we had with Patricia. Undisciplined, sloppy, out of position, taking too many penalties, nothing positive to speak of. Jared Goff has been a disaster.
Yes.
Sean McVay takes Jared Goff to the Super Bowl and is one incompletion away from winning the damn game. If was it Patrick Chung that got back there to break that up? I don't remember who it was, that the Patriot that got back there to break up the pass, the deep ball in the end zone.
Mm-hmm. That was a Super Bowl.
Now, I talking about Patricia.
That Super Bowl was very boring. A lot of people.
That Super Bowl had me. That Super Bowl had me on the edge of my seat the whole game. As a diehard Patriots fan, as a that game, I was on the edge of my seat the whole night. Whew.
Did you see my post the other day about that? The prediction for this year's
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that.
It would be a rematch. Rematch. Round 2.
Yeah.
The evil empire can, the evil empire just won't die.
The evil empire.
Well,
Tom.
Yeah. Well, I said that going into the year was that, don't sleep on Mac Jones. When we talked about that going into the preseason, when Cam Newton had a decent preseason and Mac Jones didn't have nearly as good of a preseason.
Right.
The numbers were very comparable, and Cam had a couple more touchdowns than Mac Jones, but Mac Jones was the better fit in that system. Mm-hmm. And so they go with Mac Jones, and Cam Newton is released in a bit of a shocking turn. I didn't expect them to release him.
Yeah.
I figured they would hold on to him, and Cam Newton would be the backup. But Mac Jones has done anything and everything you can. There's a play I was watching a clip on TikTok, of all places, where it was against the Falcons. It was a Thursday night game from 2 Thursdays ago. It's too high safety, zone on the outside, and they're playing 3 across the board with or a single high safety, and they're blitzing the strong side safety. So it's kind of a man zone look where you kind of have everybody's in zone, but they're still manned up, and the inside I think it's Jacoby Myers, the slot guy, is an option route, inside, outside, or a curl. And Mac Jones hangs in the pocket, delivers a strike, puts the ball out there where it's either incomplete or Myers is going to make the catch. Myers catches it for his 35. It's a really simple play. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's not an 80-yard bomb like he had in the Cowboys game. Mm-hmm. But it's a very simple play, moves the chains, keeps the drive going. But what it does, it demonstrates his ability and his willingness to hang in the pocket, wait for the play to develop, get the ball out quickly before he gets hit. He doesn't try to sidestep the rusher. He lets the ball go, absorbs the hit, gets the ball out there. They pick up the first down. The drive continues, and maybe they just punted the next play. But that's 3 more plays that you're on the next series. That first down they go 3 and out on the next series, but it's 3 more plays that your defense is sitting on the sideline. Mm. It's another 40, 50, 60 seconds, a minute and a half off the clock, and it's demoralizing for the Saints or the Falcons defense when you call the right play. You have the right defense, and you're just a tick too late.
Yeah,
and that's Mac Jones does remind me a lot of Tom Brady. Maybe a little bit more mobile.
Right.
He's got better feet, but he's got such great pocket awareness. He doesn't panic in the pocket. He lets the play develop. And when he sees, and he has the ability to go through his progressions, first read, second read, third read, whatever, if the tight end's the hot read, tight end's not open, go to my second read, third read, fourth read, back to the tight end, nobody's open, throw it away, maybe again, make a run. I mean, it's very Tom Brady-esque. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of guy that you have to have in that offense. It's a guy that reads the whole field, that already knows that they can read defenses, a pre-snap, can audible and check out of a play, and get into the right play, and make the right throws. Mac Jones is going to be a great quarterback for many years to come.
No question. And don't be surprised he gets Rookie of the Year.
Oh, Right now, I have him as Rookie of the Year.
Finally, somebody agrees with me. Finally.
No, I've been saying it. I've been saying it since week 2.
Yeah, but a lot of my other colleagues just saying, "Are you nuts?"
Well, when they were 2-3 before they went on the streak, or 3-4, whatever they were.
Right.
2-3 or 2-4. They may have been 2-4, and everybody's like, "Oh well, it's all over. The evil empire is dead. The dynasty is over. Everything." And I was like, they've been here before. We're 7 games into the season, or we're 6 games into the season. Still a lot of football left to be played. And here we are a month later, and they're 8-4, 8-3, leading the division again. And they have a huge game Monday night against the Bills. And this is going to be the game that will if the Bills are ready to take the next step, they will beat New England. I believe it's in Buffalo. It's going to be cold. It's going to be nasty. It's going to at least be cold. I don't know if there's any weather in the air in the forecast, but it's going to be cold.
It's Buffalo. It snows in July.
I know, right?
Well, September.
Right. I mean, yeah. At the beginning of September.
Yes.
Like August, it's like 75 on August 31st. On September 1st, it's 40.
Yes.
And so what's that?
Only Buffalo.
Yeah.
Well, no, Detroit too.
Yeah. Northern Michigan. But no, and that's the thing that I think this will be a real test of both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Is New England still there, or is Buffalo ready to emerge?
Yeah.
They're ready.
I think so.
We'll go ahead and start in Atlanta. The Bucs are on the road. The Buccaneers are 11-point favorite with the over/under being 50.5.
Tampa, the points and the over.
Tampa, all the way.
Yep. I need that defense to score me some points. Damn it.
The next game is in Soldier Field, Arizona. It comes to Chicago. The Cardinals are a 7.5-point favorite with the over/under being 43.5.
Cardinals.
Give me the Flappy Birds.
Okay. The next game is in Cincinnati. The Chargers come to town against the Bengals. The Bengals are a 3-point home favorite with the over/under being 50.5.
I like the Bengals, especially if it's nasty. Let me look at
41 degrees. It's supposed to be 41 degrees.
I never went with the Bears anyway. Never.
So Cincinnati.
41.
Yeah. I don't see any snow in the forecast though. So.
All right.
Yes.
It's fairly warm right now, actually. I'm just looking ahead real quick because tomorrow 10-day. Yeah, you're looking at it's supposed to be 61. Or is that here or is that there? No, it's not here. It's supposed to be 61. It's supposed to be 52 at kickoff with rain.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I like Cincinnati, especially if the mixing can get going and they can run the ball. Yeah, Cincinnati.
The next game is in Detroit. The Vikings come to town.
Vikings Sonoda
favorite 46.5.
How many?
46.5. They're a 7-point favorite.
Yeah, Minnesota by 50.
Vikings.
Okay. The next game is Cincinnati travels to the Meadowlands to play the Jets. The Eagles are a 7-point favorite with the over/under being 45.
Jets.
Philly.
You have the Giants heading to Hard Rock to take on Miami. The Dolphins are a 4-point favorite with the over/under being 40.5.
I'm going Miami.
Okay.
New York.
Giants.
It's actually going to be a tie.
It could happen.
It is 0-0 tie.
The next game is in Houston. The Colts are there to play the Texans. The Colts are a 10-point favorite with a 45.5 over/under.
Indy, but Houston covers.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
And the under.
To start the 4:00 games, you have the Washington football team visiting Vegas to play the Raiders.
That's a huge game.
The Raiders are a 1.5-point favorite with the over/under being 49.5.
Too generous.
Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders.
So should be higher.
The next one, the lonely Jaguars travel to Inglewood to play the Rams. The Rams are
Rams have to win this game.
Still be lonely. Rams all the way.
Rams have to win this game. The Rams have to win this game.
The next one is the Baltimore Ravens on the road in Pittsburgh. The Ravens are a 4-point favorite with the over/under being 44.
Ravens.
Ravens and who?
Ravens. Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Okay. I think
the Ravens shoved this one away.
Okay.
That's my upset special of the week. Ravens or Steelers.
The next one is San Francisco on the road in Seattle. The Niners
49ers.
are favorite, 45.5 the over/under.
Niners.
San Francisco. Yep. Okay. The 8:00 game on Sunday night is Denver visiting Mile High. The Chiefs are a 9.5-point favorite with the over/under being 47. I think that game's
Kansas City, here I come.
closer than a lot of people think it's going to be.
I like Denver.
The Broncos are, that could be one of
A
the
home
games
favorite.
that
Yeah.
Denver steals away from Kansas City. That might be that. And then the game that we were just talking about, New England is on the road in Buffalo. The Bills are a 2.5-point favorite with the over/under being 43.
Then you nice one. The Patriots,
Bills.
New England.
It's going to be 35 degrees in Buffalo, according to
He's
the
at minus 35.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think it's going to be 35 in snow. That's what they're calling for.
Yeah, it's transitioning to snow by 7. Supposed to clear up by 9. Be cool in the evening. So it's supposed to be about 36.
You mean home with the Buffalo Rome?
I like New England.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they ride that wave. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, so the line is 2.5. So the Bills 3.
I'm gonna say
that's going to be close. It should be.
I think that's about right. I like New England, and I like New England to. I wish it was 4. I wish it Buffalo by 4 because I'd like New England better at 4.
The Bills have no running game outside of Josh Allen. So
right.
If the Patriots can control him,
and the Patriots play good secondary.
Yeah, they're going to win that game.
And I think that's the trick to beating Buffalo is playing good secondary. I think it's kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Michigan earlier, is the fact that if you keep everybody in front of you and you don't give up the big plays, if you can keep Stephon Diggs contained, he can still get his. He can still have 125.
Mm-hmm.
But if he has 125 and 1 touchdown, if you tell me he has 10 catches for 125 and 1 touchdown, I like my chances. I think that if you can contain Steven Diggs and make Buffalo drive the whole length of the field and make them use 7, 10 minute, 5, 7 minute drives, or not 5, 7 minute drives, but 5 or 7 minute drives, you have a real legitimate chance of beating Buffalo. I don't think that I kind of think that as long as New England can get in the end zone a couple of times, especially if they can get up early and force Buffalo to have to throw the whole night, and they won't be able to establish any kind of running game, and they're playing from behind, and I think that's the recipe for success for New England.
And the Patriots are 5-0 away from Gillette.
Yeah.
So we haven't lost a
race. And they're hot.
Yeah. And the guys that are on the bye this week are Cleveland, Green Bay, Tennessee, and Carolina are on the bye.
I have 2 Tennessee. That's why I was saying I need the Tampa Bay defense to score me some points because I have 2 players on the bye. Two of my backup quarterback and my starting running back are on the bye this week. So.
But with that, gentlemen, that is all I have. Does anybody want to have any final thoughts before we go?
Just go blue. That's all I got, man. What a game.
Yeah.
I could go on for another hour about that.
I'll be watching a lot of college football on Saturday. I don't have anything going on, so I'll watch. And then of course on Sunday I'll be, the Bucks will be on at 1, and then I'll be, cool thing is about Monday night is I don't have to be to work till 7:00 on Tuesday, so I can stay up and watch the whole Monday night game with Buffalo, the Patriots.
I'll be covering all this and more on Saturday's show, as you probably will know. We'll cover all the college football games as is championship. I should call it championship weekend, not just championship Saturday, because it starts tomorrow.
Right.
So we'll cover that mostly. We'll also look at the baseball and NFL Hall of Fame because the baseball one is up as well, although it's probably going to suck. And, of course, to bring the bad news, of course, as we all know, as Major League Baseball wimps out because the owners don't give a cat's ass. Right. So all this and more, Saturday 5 to 7 on the Enhanced Sports Show, 512-543-4662. Number again, 512-543-4662. It doesn't cost you a cent, except maybe your self-respect, dignity, nerd, and pride. That's all.
Just no money. Well, if you have as long as you have unlimited talk and text, it won't cost you anything.
Correct.
Right. You got to watch out for those minutes, and don't make a long distance caller, then it will cost you.
Yeah, I think
it's totally free.
Anyway. It's a toll-free number anyway. Yeah, it's one of those toll-free numbers.
Yes.
You can call in and it doesn't cost you anything. No
Right.
matter where you call from.
See in your mind.
Yeah, no matter where you call from. It's like I
Right.
said, when I used to use the number, I had someone call from Australia. So, yeah.
You know that too? I had somebody call from
That's Samir long distance right there when you call someone from another
right.
country.
Yeah, I had somebody call from Europe. Yeah, and he was
Von
like,
Allen called me from
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. Yeah, he called me from Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
So,
I love him.
yeah. So,
he won't.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think we'll save the continental United States.
Yeah. So, just want to say this has again been the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio, part of NGSC Sports. Remember the website; it's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. We are also being aired live on Coast to Coast Entertainment, and we are sponsored by CreatingZenSpaces.com. Guys, we will be back next week in this time slot. Again, with the break, we'll figure out the break. We may not take one this month. We may just go all the way.
What I was thinking is
stuff. Yeah.
What I was thinking is do a show on the 23rd or the 22nd, whatever that is, and then skipping the week after Christmas, and then coming back the first week after New Year's.
That's fine with me. That'll work for me.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, with that, guys, we will be again back here next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The three of us will be back here. Thanks for everyone that tuned in. You're watching us on Facebook. Again, you head over to the YouTube channel, The Sports Center Bradley Walker, where this show will be on in its entirety. And all the other shows that we have done are also on there as well. But until then, guys, we love all of you guys. Thank you for listening. We want to say a shout out to our first responders and the men and women of our armed services. Thank you for doing what you do. Without you, we would not be here doing this every week like we love to do. But until then, gentlemen, I will see you guys next week. Everybody stay safe. Peace.
Good night, folks.